Hello. Hi everyone. Welcome to Guiding Voice podcast series. The Guiding Voice for a better future. This podcast is to help students and young professionals to shape their careers. Thank you for tuning in. And this is Naveen and I'm with my co-host Sudhakar. Dear listeners, on popular demand, we are coming up with a special 4-part series on the most important topic, stress management. And this is part 3 of a 4-episode series. And in this 3rd episode, we will cover stress management tips for young professionals. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome Disha again to cover this useful and critical topic through this show.
Dr. Disha Ghoshal is from Alternate Medicine, holds dual PhD in Holistic Sciences from IBAM and University of Colombo. She is a practicing Reiki Grandmaster and an expert in advanced meditation, tarot reading, crystal healing, chakra activation, and Ho'oponopono.
She has been an exponent of wellness restoration and holistic healing for over 2 decades. She's a founder of Beyond Illusion and one-stop alternate therapy shop, and you can visit www.beyondillusion.in.
Dr. Disha is a winner of International Holistic Star 2019, which is UN-affiliated Sanfo Global Federation Sri Lanka, Arogya Ratna 2018 in Holistic Medicine Research Foundation, Reiki Gold Medal 2016 from Reiki Council of India. Dr. Disha has conducted workshops in the United States of America, Australia, Japan, and other APAC countries in addition to India. Thank you, Disha, for taking time.
Thank you for inviting me once again. It's been a great learning opportunity for me as well.
So Disha, can we get started? Firstly, campus to corporate transition. End of beautiful, joyful and happy days. And now suddenly new responsibilities kick in. How can the young professionals manage their first job responsibilities to be effective at their workplace?
So let's talk about the campus to corporate transition that you've been talking about and how to manage their job responsibilities and be effective in their workplace, isn't it?
Yep.
It's really funny how students start their journey as a fresher in college only to be a fresher again at the workplace this time. Okay, so it's very important for the student to fully embody the so-called newbie mindset all the time, especially while starting a new job. You know, what is a newbie mindset? It means that you're completely open to a brand new experience. Whether it's good or bad should not be an issue. Let's not make any assumptions of the unknown. Let's just take it as an experience. That should be the thought process while you're entering this phase. A big tip to all the students is that they have to be receptive to the feedbacks of peers and the superiors. Be open to learning and just work hard to prove yourself. The next tip that I would like to suggest is to chalk out a schedule. Unlike a college, you don't have an option to bunk a class or a session that you don't like. When you're forced to adopt to a rigidity of the corporate world, you're pushed to become a more responsible individual. While the transition from college life to corporate life can be daunting, by going back in time and revisiting your days as the university fresher, you would realize that it's not much has changed since then. To work effectively, you must remain in a work-life balance. But trust me, it's easier said than done. All you need is a few moments of a day just for yourself. The moments of solitude go a long way in training the mind to stay calm even in adverse situations. Many are eager to work overtime in the first few months because the reward can be very, very tempting. This over-enthusiasm will quickly lead to exhaustion and boredom. And thus hamper their potential of growth, especially in the first job, where you actually need to prove yourself. The key is to stay balanced. It's great to be enthusiastic, but not over enthusiastic.
Mhm.
And if you expend all your energy at the start, you will not have much to give afterwards. So, by staying in balance and staying a little mindful and staying enthusiastic is very important. The work-life balance is extremely important.
So Disha, you are saying someone has to be consistent and not to be over enthusiastic, because that is going to set some higher expectations as well. I think that's a wonderful tip. Now coming to our next question, let's talk about young professionals that might have borrowed educational loans, and as they get into the job, they get into the cycle of this EMI payments. How can they plan better to avoid getting into stressful situations?
Side hustles are all the rage these days. We are living in an era of innovation, and people no longer want to work in the traditional 9 to 5. For a reason, there are new avenues of income which have opened up, like trading, blogging, social media management, just to name a few. To feel financially secure, you need to develop your skill sets, the way you can open yourself to new opportunities and monetize your passions. This strategy, of course, is only in addition to proper financial planning. So have a proper financial planning first, and then look at how you can hone up your skills with all these side hustles.
Perfect. I think world in these times is very exciting in terms of number of opportunities that are available. I wish we had these many opportunities during our times. Now, talking about the professionals, a few jobs are highly demanding, which means like they expect employee or an associate to be available all the time, and it causes stress among employees as they adjust themselves in the work environment. How can they cope up?
Okay, coping up with a demanding job or an employer is never easy. Even you know that. You need to recognize your own strengths before you beat yourself up by not meeting the unrealistic expectations. Set a very clear boundary with your employer before you take up a project or an assignment. Be honest with them if you're feeling overworked or burdened. Talk to your superior about splitting or sharing your workload, even if it means taking a small cut in your pay. Communication is the key here. Taking a stand for yourself, it may seem like a very, very radical move. But if you do not speak up, you will be continuously taken for granted. Lastly, do not take your work home. Taking your work home means carrying those heavy energies with you. Use your home only to rejuvenate or refresh yourself. But by saying that, nowadays a lot of people are working from home. So now they are confused what happens next. So I would suggest that keep separate rooms. So there'll be a separate room for workplace, and there'll be another room where you can take rest or sleep on time. So you have to get out of this room to go to another room if you want to take a rest. And this will also train your mind to say it's more or less like you're unburdening yourself. That's extremely important to break off from this continuous stress that you're going through right now. Keep 2 separate rooms and keep juggling between these 2 rooms.
I think that is interesting. First of all, you shared a very wonderful tip in terms of having a candid conversation with the superior so that they have clear expectations from an employee. And when it comes to planning the work, not to carry work home, right? So this is a wonderful and amazing tip. Disha, when it comes to a stage, maybe a few years after getting into a job, parents or societal pressure comes, and after one begins their professional journey, and youngsters struggle to decide between wedding or higher studies, and it will be very difficult for them to decide the next step. What is your advice to them?
Oh, there's no singular answer to this question. It depends on each and every family dynamics, right? And the situation. It comes down to assessing how much of impact your married life is going to have with your professional life. Some universities offer better skills. They offer better incentives to married couples over singles. With the pressure of economic aspirations, it is utmost imperative that both the spouses focus on the career. When the family grows and the kids need attention, it usually impacts the wife's career more than the husband. This hard reality is marriage. I'm laughing because we are all going through it, right? This hard reality.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it will impact one's career. And it's a constant challenge to manage a family and higher demanding career. But we need to work on it. So again, I would suggest communication is the key. Talk to your partner. If there is a meeting, if there is a schedule that's been there, which has been bothering you, if there's a deadline, talk to them, inform them, keep them in the loop so that they can do independent stuff. So, when you are getting into some kind of a closure with on official front, your partner can take the personal lead. Similarly, when she is doing something where on the professional front, you can actually back her up. These kind of backups actually help streamline a lot of things, and you can balance personal and professional. For example, if you're doing something professionally right now, which is extremely important for the next couple of days, you need to inform your partner well in advance, maybe about 2 weeks in advance, so that she will plan the whole thing around your schedule. And similarly, when she's going through a professional hiccup, you can plan your time with the kids and things like that, so that the child feels completely secure. One parent is always with the child, and as a professional, you're giving your 100% there as well, because you're not really concerned about the child's security and neither about the family at that moment, because you need to complete things on time. There's a target, there's a deadline. So that's how you balance the work-life situation, especially when you're married or you're thinking of having a family.
All right, Disha. So coming to the next question, young professionals abroad will face a lot of challenges as they will have more responsibilities, keeping aside the freedom they have. How should they manage things?
It's common and natural to feel enveloped with all the craziness that comes with new job or studies abroad. People abroad often lose touch with their old friend group or family and a sense of belonging that takes time to develop. I would highly recommend finding your soul tribe wherever you go. Find a community of people who have the same interest that you have. A complete new set of friends and community can provide you with an alternate perspective and connections. No matter your situation, you will always have a set of people to rely and seek help from.
I think that is cool. So be associated with some of the common community or community members with who share the common interest and all. That's a wonderful tip. And coming to the last part of our discussion, are there any stress management tips that young professionals can start as early as they can, say right from their job on day one?
Stress management works differently with different people. There's no one-size-fits-all strategy when it comes to battling day-to-day stress. If you have a few hobbies, then wonderful. It's great. You can spend time developing your ideas. However, a lot of people are so caught up in their work that they are unable to make time for their hobbies. So the ideal way to deal with stress is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is a quality of being fully engaged in the present moment without letting any distractions interfere with your work. It's the best strategy for budding professionals. Mindfulness increases your efficiency, productivity, and focus to a great extent, thereby helping you work better in lesser time. In consequence, you now have more time to spend on other activities or simply relax. While mindfulness has other benefits, you can experience its power the most on the professional front. One tip when it comes to mindfulness is start slow. It's a lifestyle change and it requires patience and effort. A little bit of mindfulness every day goes a long way.
Perfect. I think that's an amazing tip again. Mindfulness, it is about being present at the moment, not worrying about anything else. Am I right?
Yes, 100%.
All right. Thank you, Disha, and thank you for your insights again. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation despite your busy schedule and being part of our journey. And it was indeed a great conversation around stress management for young professionals. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure to be a part of this conversation. I hope the listeners have found it useful. Thank you.
Thank you so much for accepting the invitation despite your busy schedule, Disha. It was indeed a great conversation. We are looking forward to the next episode in this 4-part series. Thank you. Dear listeners, to know more about our speakers and the content, visit or follow us on social media, or feel free to email us and we will be happy to share further details with you.
Alright, so it brings us to the trivia segment of this episode. And today's trivia is about yourself. Yes, I mean it. Do you know? You are the tallest first thing in the morning. If you are feeling a bit on the shorter side, measure yourself when you first wake up. And it is proven scientifically. According to Jamaica Hospital Medical Center, this phenomena may be due to gravity compressing cartilage in our spine and in other parts of our bodies, such as our knees, when we stand up or sit down throughout the day. While we are lying down in a resting position, the spine is said to spread out or decompress. So when we wake up in the morning, we are taller after lying in bed all night. I'm sure most of you guys are going to try testing this, so do let me know the results. Interesting fact, isn't it? If you'd like to share any trivias, please feel free to share them through email, and our email address is theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com, or SMS us or text us at India number 9494587187. We will not only share best trivias in future episodes, we will also announce your name. Again, we are open for suggestions on topics that you would like to hear from us through our email address. Our email address is theguidingvoice4u@gmail.com. You may also WhatsApp us on our India number 9494587187. Like our page on Facebook, facebook.com/theguidingvoice4u, or follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/guidingvoice. To stay tuned about our future episodes. We are also available on Instagram as The Guiding Voice for You. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/The Guiding Voice. There is more in store. Until next time, have a wonderful time. Thank you for listening. Take care and be safe.